In part 2 of object drawing, we are going to be looking at more advanced objects using cubes, cylinders, spheres and cones. We are going to see how these objects combine together to help us create a more three-dimensional effect to the object. And if you stay till the end, I have a little surprise for you. Welcome to Art Focused. This is Richard, and let's get into it. We are going to be drawing spheres, cubes, cones, and cylinders, and seeing how these basic elemental shapes help to create a three-dimensional effect on our objects. So, let's start with a cube. Okay, you can think of, if you want to draw a cube, you need to get 3 parallel lines. First, don't worry too much about the line, right? And then once we've got these lines, okay, remember, keep your drawing nice and loose. Move your arm, okay? We can do lines going parallel. So I can start at the base, okay, and then I can draw the lines parallel there, like that. And if that line is parallel to that one, and that one is parallel to that one, just draw that out there. And that's the same. That is parallel to that, and that is parallel to that. There we go, see? So keep your arm movements up and down. Keep your arms free. Okay, that way you're going to get a much better line. And you can go backwards and forwards as well. It doesn't have to be a clean line. Okay, a cone. All right, let's start at the base of the cone. You start off with an elliptical or oval object. Okay, and then it, depending on your angle and the other angle, 2 lines intersect to create a pyramid. Now, when it comes to this, okay, we can intersect it there and cut off the cone, and then we'd have like a shape there that is cut off. We can also cut it off at an angle, so that's a bit like that. There we go. That's to show you that you can just cut it off at an angle as well, and that'll give you a different kind of a cut. Okay, next thing, a sphere. Okay, and this is how I like to draw it. I go one way, clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise. You can go over a few times until you feel confident you've got the circle. All right, so that's a flat circle, and then if we want to create the sphere, we just need to draw an ellipse inside and over like that, okay? And that'll give us the feel of a sphere. A rounded object. It's basically going to create roundness to the objects. Last object that we are going to look at is cylinder. So we can start at the top and we can draw the oval. Bring the lines down like that, and then we have the base also oval. Okay, and there we have it. Okay, so our next object can be a little bit complicated, but let me give you a tip here. Everything consists of just basic shapes. So if we really just take that object and break it down, draw the basic shapes all broken down, and you'll see here at the top, we've got the candle wax, and then we've got the lip of the bottle, and that joins in with this top part, which is like a cone shape, okay? And then it joins to the cylindrical shape of the label, and then it goes into the bottom part, the base. So draw all those shapes separately. That's a rounded cone, basically rounded on the sides. So let me show you then, okay, after you've drawn it like this, then you can put it together. So something like this. Let me start off at the top with a candle, right? And then I've got this ring-like shape for the lip, okay? It is an oval at the top and an oval at the bottom. Remember, draw both ovals. Then comes the curved sides of the bottle on both sides. That side, that side. And then I draw that oval at the bottom. Now, the oval there and here, the cone and the cylinder shares the same oval. So I just draw that line coming down like that, and then the second oval like that, and that will give me that cylindrical shape. And then to that I just taper down a bit on that side and that side, and then I've got the base with another smaller oval at the bottom. Okay, once I've got that, then I can just quickly render that. You don't need to continuously draw a hard line. You can just draw a line that is sort of like a lost and found line. And that is going to express this shape of the bottle nicely. There's the label going right through because the object is see-through. Maybe it's a bit of a gap there to show that there's a gap in the label there. Okay, don't worry again once about the details. I can't stress enough how important it is for you to continuously observe what's in front of you and look up and draw what's in front of you at least once every second. So in front of me, I've got this wine bottle, and I am going to start by drawing its central point first. And what I mean by that is, if you look at the wine bottle and you look at it there by the shoulders, you can see almost a spherical bowl-like shape for the neck there. Okay? Keep your lines loose. Keep them nice and free. There is your sphere, so to speak. Okay? And just construct these lines. Now I can bring the lines on both sides down. Okay, can you see? Nice free, keeping a nice free motion up and down. You know, if you want to keep your pencil on the side, and it becomes much difficult because like this, you know, like this, it tends to stray more. When you hold it down and you've got your hand firmly down on the paper, it gives you a much better mark. Okay, so I've got that, and then the next thing that I've got of that bottle is its neck. So there I can draw almost cylindrical kind of shape. Okay, and I can just draw that like that. And there's a bit of a candle with a wick, which also is cylindrical. Okay, and then I've got this it's like a label type of thing there. Okay, I'm going to put that in. Can you see it's all just cylinders? That is, so I'm breaking this up into smaller cylinders, basically, like that. Okay, and then all the label is, it is a bigger cylinder. So now I've already got the extremities on that side, so I can go ahead and get that there. And another thing that I can say to you that's important is that the length of the neck is about roughly thirds. Now I've got that cylinder, and then at the bottom, okay, it kind of tapers. So I've got a bit of a cylinder, and then I've got a bit of a smaller cylinder there, and then it's sort of like, it's almost like a upside down cone. And that would be that section over there. Now I can take this and I can just render the line a bit. There I've got the label, and because it's a label, I want to show that it's a label. There the label ends and there the label begins, and we can see the label wrapping itself around on the other side of the bottle, like that, like that, and like that. And I can just finish off the edges there. Okay, so we're not looking for detail right now. Practice the shapes. Okay, and so let's have a look at this small object. So I can start off with a line, 3 lines. Okay, once I've got those 3 lines, I can draw the angles up. Like that. And there, so can you see? That line is parallel to that line, and I draw that line, and then I draw that line, that is parallel. And then again, once again, 1, 2, 3, parallel. If you need a bit of help, you can just extend that line there, to see where you need to go, where you can turn there, and that line is parallel to that line over there. Then let's have a look at the top lid of this jar. Okay, there we have an ovular shape like that. And we draw another oval further down just for the getting, there we get that lid. And there we go. And then we've got the neck. Once again, you want to get that circular shapes like that. The edges are slightly round though, so we can, when we render it, we can just quickly round out the edges, and because it's see-through, it's got that angle there, the back. And I can just draw that darker, like that. Okay. So, as promised, we are here towards the end, and I have prepared a little slideshow for you with different objects. You can go back to these objects and you can go and look at them and practice them whenever you like. Thank you for watching till the end, and I see you in the next lesson. Keep practicing.